Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. I have been saving this video for a first-time reaction and analysis for over a year. Myles Kennedy is an incredible vocal technician, and he's a really good person, and this is reportedly one of his best live performances. Add to that we're also going to get vocals from Mark Tremonti, who is also a great singer, and I don't know how I've not gotten to this sooner, so let's get to it.
You say you are right. I hope that I'm wrong.
Wow.
I know that you tried, but still it is gone. Just don't you lose hope. I swear I never dreamed that we're alone. Now don't you let go. I swear I still believe, oh, I don't know.
This is like enchanting. Of course, you've got some heaviness to it, but I love the classical orchestration that's behind it as well. And there's such a longing sound in both of these men's voices that is drawing me in. Oh man, I'm gonna go back to the beginning. This is so beautiful.
You say you are right. I hope that I'm wrong.
Okay. Two immediate things. One is I love this feeling of this subdivision of 3 underneath. It's lulling me into the song, essentially. Whoa. The immediate instrumentation and writing of it brings me in. And then Myles's voice when he enters, I love the way he's using his airflow. It's calming and soothing at the same time as grabbing. I like the way he ends that first phrase, rather short. It's got a question and it sounds almost like it's waiting for an answer in the silence afterwards.
You say you are right. I hope that I'm wrong. I know that you tried, but still it is gone.
He's working in an area of the voice that is very difficult to negotiate. If you listen to the way he's playing around with the weight right here in this last phrase, he let a little more weight into the sound. I love that he's able to adjust the amount of heaviness that's in his timbre to really bring us in at the beginning. It's not a smack, but rather a draw in. And then additionally, it's just really hard for a lot of people to adjust the weight in their voice in this particular range. Myles, though, is so incredibly smart about his vocal technique and so good at leaning out that sound in a way that doesn't tax his vocal folds as much. He's a very smart singer. But that's so good.
But still it is gone. Just don't you lose hope. I swear I never dreamed that we're alone. Now don't you let go. I swear I still believe, oh, I don't know.
And I like the really quick vibrato. It's almost like a little tremolo that comes in. Uh, and I have to say, with Mark Tremonti's voice, it's really interesting hearing him in this because I'm most familiar with him from a recent project he did, essentially recreating Frank Sinatra songs. And he sounds remarkably like Frank Sinatra in that. So when I hear him in this, it's like, yes, this was done first before the Frank Sinatra project. But it's just like, whoa, that's a really different sound. He's very good, I think, at adjusting his vocal tract to make different sounds. Well, I'm going to go back a little again.
Just don't you lose hope. I swear I never dreamed
It's clear, it's accurate.
Now don't you let go. I swear I still believe. Oh, I don't.
I love that throw into the top as well. Gosh.
Remember the years when I still walked home. And I only fear, I only groan.
Gosh. Just like Miles' voice is really incredible. Again, like the technical prowess that he's demonstrating in this, well, most people probably don't know that it's really difficult. He's able to make it sound just really smooth and really good. Even though he's flipping registers in this, he's even adding a little bit of grit in one spot. He has attacks with consonants, without consonants. That requires a different way of attacking the note. A glottal attack, essentially, at one point. There's a lot happening. And also, I love the orchestra in this. Really like this. Oh. Yeah.
Remember the years when I still walked home. And I only fear, I only groan.
Okay, one more thing. I'm going to go back on this phrase one more time. This is an area where a lot of people will be experiencing much, much strain in the voice. Again, Miles has leaned out the sound. He's relying on a lot more low support from his breath. And partly because of that, he's able to achieve a lot more clarity in the text in this range than you're going to hear from most people. It is hard to have super clear words there. He makes it sound so dang easy. Back one more time. So I've got an etherealness right there.
Remember the years when I still walked home. And I only fear, I only groan.
God, that little break at the end is good.
How could I be wrong? I hope there comes a day your fear is gone. How could we be lost? Lost just cease to be, not carry on.
I really dig the way that I feel each part has been written very well for each person's voice. I'm not sure how easy of a time Mark Tremonti has up in that really, really high range there, but he has such a full voice right here that is really able to bring a lot more pleading in this area. It's very strong. It also brought in some grit. It works really well in this range. I feel like it's a very happy spot for his voice. I can't get over how pretty that part is. also love the way that both men have a ton of focus. It feels like a little tiny bit of snarl in the voice that helps it have that extra ring to push out over tons of instruments in the sound. They have a very similar placement, I think. So hopefully we'll hear them sing together. I don't know, they don't have to, but I think if they did sing together in this, that it would have a really nice blend. Additionally, they've just balanced each other out really well. It feels like a really good conversation between two friends that uh, have so much respect for each other. Look at that smile. Aw, that makes me happy. I like the distortion on the top there from Mark. Ooh. They do sound really good together, even better than I thought they were going to sound together. There was some fun overtones from it. Sounded like their voices while harmonizing hit into some really good similar spaces that enhance the overtones extra. Wow. Wow. That's a really crazy good jump up that Miles does there. One more time. Man, their sound is so good. I like the way, I think that Mark's voice, by having a little more robustness in that lower register, it provides this, it's just like a certain grounding to the harmony. Right. I don't know if you hear it too, but there's a ringy, like a certain shininess on top of both of these guys. I think it's maybe because they have that similar placement in their sound. And so it's enhancing similar overtones. And boy, it's just ringy, shiny. So sometimes when you're singing a duet with somebody, you can feel the vibrations in the air if your voices have this similar sort of resonance that goes together. I've experienced this on stage where it's like this extra buzz that happens. That's usually been when I've been singing with tenors, and opera is really relying on a ton of extra resonance. I just remember vividly a couple different times where it almost like felt skin prickling, like your bones were starting to vibrate because the air was just shimmering with this combined similar overtone pattern. It's an incredible experience. Really, truly amazing. When you hear it in opera, it could be incredibly amazing. Anna Netrebko and Elena Garancha have a thing like that I've heard live performance, and it was really awesome. I think that these two have that naturally. So cool. Okay, back one more time. Oh. that set of lyrics as well. Into the light may you fall. It feels like such a blessing somehow. And also, if you put that together with the lulling filling in the song, it does have a way of almost, man, I just almost feel like I'm drifting into a dream by listening to it. Let's keep going. Ooh. That's glorious. Check this out. And these are long, good phrases. Again, sitting in that higher range that's really difficult to navigate. Look at his shoulder movement. So if you're watching, you see very little shoulder movement at all. He's rocking back and forth a bit with his body, but his shoulders aren't going up and down. You don't even see a ton of upper chest expansion. I talked with Miles in a tea time interview a while back, and we talked about breath support. And he particularly goes by a very classical approach to breath support. And that means it's really, really low, like down to your pelvic floor, low. That kind of breath support takes the pressure off of those notes that are really, really high. It makes it so you can phonate essentially with more ease on those super high notes, and it makes it much more sustainable. It's how he sings these really long phrases with tons of focus but seeming ease. Let's go back a little bit. He's in such good vocal shape. Wow. And I love their faces while they're singing this. Miles in particular looks like he just has a very satisfied smile many, many times. And Mark looks very introspective a lot of times. Actually, both of them have an introspective look. There's just so much, it seems like there's so much inner satisfaction from performing this together. Oh, also, really interesting movement there from Mark. When he gets ready to sing, he puts a leg up on the monitor. That helps again with getting into the low pelvic support for sound. Just quick pause to say, I love the fullness of this entire soundscape right now. The orchestra with metal instrumentation. It's a glorious, glorious sound to me. And then add two voices that have the ability to cut in a similar way. It's beautiful. Okay, we'll keep going. Oh, look at the way he's done this a few times where he's brought his hands in almost like conducting himself. But what I'm noticing is specifically he's thinking about the onset of the sound. Again, Miles draws a lot from classical singing technique. And the way he's so precise in this particular hand movement and onset together makes me think that's one of those aids that he uses to just make sure he's got cleanly, that his vocal folds cleanly get into that initial phonation. There's a directness there too. Look at that. Yeah, one more time. Wow, those overtones are nuts. They're just nuts. I also love the abandonment in it. Okay, keep going. Ooh! Oh my gosh, I'm wondering now. And the very first time we heard this chorus, I thought he jumped up a pitch, but it might have been that, sorry, I'm talking about Miles's voice here. It's possible that what I heard was the overtone so loudly, because as I'm hearing this repeated, it seems like he stays in the same area, but I'm hearing a really loud overtone happen on that pitch. That's crazy. I will go back and listen to that another time to try and figure out which one was actually the fundamental pitch. It was just, there was a high note that peaked out there that was so loud. Oh, I'm really curious now. Okay, let's go back. Yeah. Whoa, it's in that part, in the very first fall of the first line. I hear him staying on the same pitch now, but then having an overtone that pops in. It's really loud. Oh, the way his overtones shifted as he was holding out that longer note. It's so similar actually to overtone singing, like in tube and throat singing, not the subharmonic type, but the overtone type, like the stuff that has a kind of high whistles. So he's moving through a couple different vowels as he's going in this note, and that shifts essentially which overtone is going to be louder. Wow. Oh my gosh. You can even hear the crowd erupt behind him as he hits that high note. Now, with that note, part of the reason it's so difficult is because he's not switching into a lighter register. He's singing that full, heavy, full out, right? Great mouth shape too. Okay, again, check out the shoulders. They're so still. And you see, like, there's like a little bit of like sinking in the body, like just a little bit of that's essentially leaning on the support that happens when he goes up to that top note. Oh my gosh. That is a really, really tough ending. I love the sustaining that he's got going on in there. After singing in this area of the voice for so long, being able to sustain and belt that out just shows incredible endurance. Let's go back one more time. Wow. A little vibrato in his hand there too. Ah. That's really good. Man, that is just really good singing from both of them. And I mentioned earlier that Miles is just a really good person, also a vocal nerd. And that's why I recently asked him to narrate one of our videos over on the Singing Hole about dog singing and what's going on when dogs sing along with us in music. It's so cool. He's such an incredible narrator. And if you want to check that out, I'll put a link over here. And may you fall more in love with music every day.